Hey folks, welcome back to LoneSpeed and episode number 2 of Pull Out Your PPs. And for this episode, we're going to talk about the Saturday card at Fairgrounds, specifically the All Stakes Pick 4, starting with race number 7, the Letelier Memorial. And this one is wide open. You can legitimately make a case for just about anybody in here. I'm going to focus my attention on 3 of the 4 juvenile fillies to the outside. Number 7, Istin Council. Number 9, Lady TNT. And number 10, Unholy Alliance. I think my sneaky clever play, my clever opinion in here, if you can call it that, is number 7, Istin Council. You go back to the career debut. In fact, 2 of her 3 starts, you notice she's lost to number 10 in here, Unholy Alliance. The career debut, she ran really well. 10-horse field at Churchill Downs. She was up close, made kind of a premature move when the filly in front of her kind of went early. That sort of forced Istin Council to go. She took the lead at the top of the stretch and got run down late by Unholy Alliance. Istin Council didn't change leads in there, still managed to finish second, a length and change clear of the third place filly who had broken near the back of the pack as well. So the winner and the third place finisher that day came from the back of the pack. Istin Council was up close, hung on to be second. She came back in the next start at Keeneland. Big win, 85 Beyer, won by 5 lengths. Changed leads on schedule, was inside the whole way, kind of inside horses. Not a perfect trip by any means. Not a bad trip, but she earned the win, ran really well, and then came back at start number 3. Another loss to Unholy Alliance. Caught a sloppy track, maybe she didn't care for. Regressed about 23 points on the Beyer scale. So if you believe in the bounce theory, you could say that she bounced or regressed, whatever you want to call it. I think if she runs back to that Keeneland race, she's going to be tough to beat. I like her chances a lot in here. I don't know if we'll get 12 to 1 on the morning line, but again, as competitive as this field is, I think we're going to get a good price on this Istin Council. I think she'll be the value play, and she'll be my win bet if I make one, and she'll be one of 3 I use in the pick 4. The other 2 are the 9, Lady TNT, and number 10, Unholy Alliance. I think Lady TNT will ultimately be the favorite. You can draw a line through the Alcibiades. Don't think she wanted to go that far. Had some trouble at the start. Had some trouble at the start of the career debut. Finished last of eight in there. In between their 2 open length wins, sprinting. I like her chances a lot in here. I think she'll be, if not on the lead, very, very close to it. I think she's going to run big. I'd probably call her the most likely winner. And then Unholy Alliance, 2 for 2, including the 2 wins we mentioned over Istin Council. I have a lot of respect for any sprinter that can win consecutive races closing. I mean, closing sprinters, they don't, I mean, yeah, they win their share, I guess. But if you see a horse do it twice in a row, I think at that point you're talking about, a horse that didn't just suck up and get wins. She wasn't exactly closing into scorching paces. I mean, she's really solid and run very well. So I'd put her right up there with Lady TNT. But for me, the value play is number 7, Istin Council. So in the pick 4, I'll use the 7, the 9, and the 10. And that takes us on to the Blushing KD, leg 2, race 8 at Fairgrounds on Saturday. The class play in here is Beau Recall. We talked about this last week in that race at Gulfstream with Capua Temptress, who ended up not being favored, but was clearly the class of the field. I think that role goes to Beau Recall in here, one of 2 entered for Brad Cox. Yes, she needs some pace up front, and horses like her on the turf, they're the ones that are pace dependent. You often see them lose races where they should win. I think this is a spot where she should win. I think there's some cheap speed in here a little bit. Number 7, Take These Chains is one of them. Went wire to wire in the allowance win at Churchill Downs last time. That's the first time she'd ever been up and on the pace. And then number 9, Superiority Complex, another wire to wire winner in an allowance race. I don't know that I really see either of them as being legitimate speed. I think the legitimate speed in here, if we can scroll back up, is number 2, I'm Betty G from Mike Maker. She's got some class. She's shown an affinity to be up front. I think that's where she'll be. I think she's the most likely pace setter in here, and I think that could make her dangerous. So I'm going to use her. I'm Betty G. We already talked about Beau Recall, who I will also use. And then I'm going to get a little bit cute here. Number 8, Full of Zip for Mike Stidham. Um, 30 to 1 on the morning line. Something weird about this one even being in here. She's not shown. She's got one win on the turf, but most of her starts have come on the synthetic. They tried to run her on the turf twice at Laurel. Both of those came off the turf. Ran her in the Chicago at Arlington Park, going 7 furlongs on the synthetic. Um, this kind of just looks to me like, what is she doing in here, especially with the other Stidham filly to her outside. I just wonder if this one might be up and on the pace too, and could be a sneaky one. It's a little bit cute. I think maybe I'm not overthinking this a little bit, and will look very stupid when she runs last. But I think Full of Zip is going to be my third one in here, along with I'm Betty G and Bo Recall. So we're 3 by 3 so far in the pick four, and that takes us to the tenacious 1 mile and 70 yards on the dirt. I thought about singling in here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go too deep. The one that I was going to single is number 8, Thirst for Life. If you go back through the past performances, you see that he's been hooking some good ones in here. I feel comfortable drawing a line through the last 2 starts, both at 1 mile and 1/8. Might be farther than he wants to go. Shortens up just ever so slightly in here. And if you look through the past performances, he's run against some good ones. Leo Frick, Aztec Sense. We already said that's 1 mile, so we're drawing a line through it, I guess. But the player, so he ran second to both the player and Leo Frick. So I think Thirst for Life would be a legitimate single, but the problem is with Tom's d'Etat in here, even though Al Stahl, look at this. He's not off to the greatest start of this meet. He's got one win from, I think he was 0 for 2 today, Friday, maybe 0 for 1. Anyway, he's only got one win. I'm pretty sure that's right. But look at this, 15 seconds. Tom's d'Etat could run huge here, and I'm going to look. I would feel very stupid if I played a pick 4, got maybe a price or 2 home in the first 2 legs, and then didn't use Tom's d'Etat in here. So I will go too deep in the pick 4 in leg 3, number 7, Tom's d'Etat, number 8, Thirst for Life. And that takes us to the final leg of the pick 4, the Buddy Diliberto Memorial at 1 mile and 1/16 on the grass. Spent a lot of time handicapping this one, and I finally settled on 3 in here. We'll start with the number 2, Great Wide Open. This one seems to really have found himself in his last 3 starts. You know that he'll be up close, if not on the lead. Yes, he got away with very slow fractions last time out and held off Memory Bank and 24/7, both of whom show up in here. And I think people may kind of flock to those two because they closed into those slow fractions that Great Wide Open set. That was a slow turf course that day, but I think just the recent form and class shown by Great Wide Open means he's one you have to use. I really wanted to use number 3, Teodoro, in here. My thought was that Teodoro doesn't like soft ground, and that's why he ran so poorly in the turf class and the Joe Hirsch at Belmont. He really had no excuse that day. That was kind of a gutless performance. He was up close with Channelmaker. That one ran on and won convincingly over Robert Bruce. I was on Teodoro that day. So were bettors. He was single-digit odds, and just really ran. It was just a really unimpressive performance. So I thought, you draw a line through that one if he hooks firm turf today, but I don't think he's going to. Going back to his past performances, he runs really well on firm turf, or good to firm, and then if on softer going doesn't run as well. So, I don't know if miraculously the turf course at Fairgrounds on Saturday somehow ends up firm, which I think is darn near impossible. Maybe I find a way to get Teodoro on my ticket. It's going to really irritate me if he wins this because I think there's some ability there. I know there's some ability. I just don't think that he has a chance to show that ability on softer going, which is what we're probably going to get. So for now, we're just on the 2, Great Wide Open. I'm also interested in 5 big changes for Brad Cox. This year, this will be his 7th start on his 7th different track. He's won 5 of 6. Couldn't hold off Mr. Misunderstood in the last one. I think we'll be up close with Florent Giroux and figures to get a really good trip. And I think the class is there. The ability is there. I like his chances a lot, so we'll include him. Oscar nominated. This is 1 mile and 1/16. Look, he's a marathoner. He's 1.5 miles, 1.3 miles. He's he's got a mile and an eighth race on the page here. Um, got a mile, but I mean he's a distance runner. A little surprised that maybe they're thinking it's been so long since he's won. They got to try to shorten him up and give him some class relief. I mean, I get that he's getting class relief here for sure, but I just don't know that this is his distance. So I don't know. He could win, make me look stupid, but I'm not going to use him. The third horse I'm going to use in here is number 8, Team Colors, for Joe Sharp. I respect these connections a lot. He's never raced at the fairgrounds. He's run well on firm and on off going. I think he's going to run a big race. In 8 to 1, I like that price. I got a feeling we're not going to get 8 to 1 on him. But if we do, I think that represents really, really great value. So we're going to go with in the final leg here, number 8, Team Colors, number 5, Big Changes, and number 2, Great Wide Open. That's our pick 4. Haven't seen the scratches yet. On Twitter, maybe tomorrow, you can follow me at Justin Dew. If there are some scratches, we may have to adjust the ticket a little bit. And of course, we want to see the turf condition too. So best of luck. Great card at Fairgrounds on Saturday. Hope you have some winners. And we'll talk to you next time on Pull Out Your PPs. Click.